الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن دعا بدعوته واستنى بسنته وسار على نهجه إلى يوم الدين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We thank Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for another opportunity of witnessing another day in this blessed month. So inshallah we'll be continuing from where we stopped in Tafseer of Surah Al-Baqarah yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, we ended our discussion yesterday on verse 21, right? That is the verse where Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying, يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. You know, after Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala spoke about the believers, then about the unbelievers, and then spoke also about the hypocrites, these three categories of people, then Allah now, went further to call everyone to serve Him. That is Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He says, "O you who believe, u'budu rabbakum, worship your Lord, alladhi khalaqakum, the one who created you, walladhina min qablikum, and those before you, la'allakum tattaqun, so that you may be, God conscious." Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala being our maker, the one who created us, the one who is sustaining us, the one who protects us, and we don't have any other, Lord except Him. He, based on that, He is commanding us to what? To serve Him, to worship Him. And like I said in our previous discussion, we shouldn't be mistaking the ibadah or the worship of Allah as a kind of favor to Allah, but rather it is a favor to us. So Allah calling our own deed as worshipping Him or as serving Him is just like a kind of mark of how do I put it? Respect. It's just making, adding value to something. So here Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, is connecting what benefits us to Himself as a way of encouraging us to do that. So then He now went further in the next verse. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون وإن كنتم في ريب مما نزلنا على عبدنا فأتوا بسورة من مثله ودعوا شهداءكم من دون الله إن كنتم صادقين فإن لم تفعلوا ولن تفعلوا فاتقوا النار التي وقودها الناس والحجارة أعدت للكافرين. So in these noble verses of the Quran, after Allah Ta'ala called upon all mankind to worship Him, then in the subsequent verse, He now went further to describe or to mention some of the qualities or some of the characteristics of the person that is Allah Ta'ala whom we're supposed to worship. Then He said, الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا. He is the one, that is that Allah is the person, الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا, who made the land, the earth, to serve to you as what? As a resting place, as a bed. He spread it for you, you move on it, you do a lot of things on the earth. He said, جعل لكم الأرض فراشا. He spread the earth for you as a resting place. وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً. And He made the heaven like what? Built it for you as what? Like a canopy, covering you. السَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. And He sent down min as-sama, from the heaven, that is from the sky, ma'a, water, that is rain. Allah Ta'ala, He created, He put for you the earth as what? As a place of rest, and He made the heaven for you, that is a canopy, and He sent down from the sky, from the heaven, water, that is rain. فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ رِزْقًا لَكُمْ. And with that rain, He brought out for you thamarat, fruits, رِزْقًا لَكُمْ, as a provision for you. That is, the person who have done all this for you, they say, do we suppose to neglect Him? Do we suppose not to appreciate Him? But rather He is someone that's supposed to be what? Appreciated, because we don't have any other person who can be able to give us all these things, or who can be able to provide us with all these things. And based on that, He said, فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. So do not put in place, a rival, unto Allah Ta'ala. That is, someone to be equated to Him. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. While you know. So see, the one who have done all these things for you, then you are not supposed to set up a rival for Him, or set up someone as being equal to Him. That is, Allah Ta'ala here is warning us against what? A shirk. That is, associating partner unto Allah Ta'ala. That being the only person who did all this for us, that means we are not supposed to attribute what belongs to Him to someone else who does not deserve it, while we know that He is the only deity worthy of worship. Then Allah Ta'ala now went further to now say that وَإِن كُنْتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَى عَبْدِنَا. If you are in doubt pertaining to what we revealed unto our servant, unto our messenger. So you see, here there is a connection. We can see the word Abdina, our servant, with what? U'budu Rabbakum. That Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, say, O you who believe, u'budu, serve Rabbakum, your Lord. Then here Allah is saying also, in relation to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, He said, وَإِن كُنْتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ, if you are in doubt, مِمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَى عَبَدِنَا, regarding what we revealed unto our servant. So here Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala referred to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as his servant in a way of what? Honor, in a way of honoring him. It's just like maybe as a people, sometime as a young child, maybe if the president sees you and says, oh my son, there is a way you will feel. You know, someone who is highly placed, if he connects you to himself, there is a way you feel. Just the same way, if someone who is, nothing, or maybe a useless person connects you to himself, there is a way you feel. If a highly placed person, sometimes somebody who is not very close to the person will say, okay, he's my friend. He just wants to be what? Associated with the person. Because it gives him a bit of what? Honor. Like now, maybe someone whose father is a president, yes, he will prefer to say, I'm the president's son, sometime, than mentioning the raw name of what? Of his father. Because mentioning the raw name of your father doesn't differentiate you from anybody. But that other edge that your own father has against what? The others. So by the time they now use that to describe you, you feel what? Happy. Like now you will see somebody, you say Prince. Why did you call him Prince? When you call him Prince, he's happy. Why? Meaning he is son to what? To the king. Or son to Emir. Or son to one to a ruler. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, being the Most High, so connecting anything to himself is like an honor to that thing. So here Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying that if you are in doubt pertaining to what we revealed unto our servant, that is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and that is what? The Quran. If you are in doubt pertaining to the Quran, whether it is genuinely from Allah, whether it is truly from Allah or not, then Allah said what? Fatu bisuratin min mithli. Then produce what? A chapter, a surah like it. Here Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is putting up a challenge to the entire, world. Not to mankind alone, but rather to the what? To the entire world. Because even the challenge did not start with what? A surah. At the point, it came in 3 stages. The first stage, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a verse of the Quran that Qul, say to them, لَإِنِ اجْتَمَعَتِ الْإِنسُ وَالْجِنُّ, if the entire mankind and jinn will come together, عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ, to produce something similar to this Quran, that is the entire Quran. عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ, for them to come with something similar to this Quran, لَا يَأْتُونَ بِمِثْلِ, they will not be able to produce something similar to it. وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ ظَهِيرًا, even if all of them will serve us what? Help us to one another. So the first challenge is what? Produces a book, that is the entire book. That is, produce a book that can be equated to the entire book. If you feel the book is not from Allah, then produce your own similar book. Because you are also Arab, or you can speak Arabic, you are eloquent, the book is in Arabic, so produce something similar to it if you think he's the one produced. Because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam does not have that intelligence, does not have all it takes to produce the Quran, because it is something from who? From the wisest of all. So Muhammad cannot bring something that Allah brings. He too, even as a person, does not have that intelligence. Because no one can be equated to Allah. Nobody. In terms of anything. In terms of intelligence, in terms of understanding, in terms of, sense, mention anything, good. Everyone is after Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He's tapping from that of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. The source is Allah. Oh, if you are wealthy, Allah is the source of wealth. He is what? He is the source. There is a difference between somebody getting something and someone who is the source. Somebody giving you something is from him. So he is giving you out of what he has. Somebody can give you what he doesn't have. فَاقِدُ الشَّيْء لَا يُعْطِيهِ. Someone can offer, can give what he doesn't have. So somebody giving you something, that means he's what? Having that thing. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is the source. So being that He produced this, even the language you speak, He is the source. He is not learning the language, you are learning the language. And you can know what He is not willing for you to know. That's why the angels, when Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala challenged them with regarding Prophet Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, then at a point they now say what? قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا. Oh our Lord, لا علم لنا, we have no knowledge إلا ما علمتنا, except what? What you made us to know. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala threw a first challenge to them that what? They should produce a book similar to it. That means they should produce a book which is equivalent to maybe 100 and what? 14 surahs or 14 chapters. And Allah challenged them that what? Not only mankind, but He said if the entire mankind and jinn will come together to produce something similar to it, they cannot be able to do it. وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ ظَهِيرًا. So after a while, He reduced the level of challenge. Then He said what? أَمْ يَقُولُونَ افْتَرَى. They say that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam invented the Quran. Then if he is the one who invented it, then he now said to them, فَأْتُوا بِعَشْرِ سُوَرٍ مِثْلِ مُفْتَرَيَاتٍ وَدَعُوا مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. He said, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala now said to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, tell them, فَأْتُوا بِعَشْرِ سُوَرٍ, not the complete Quran anymore, not the complete Quran, but rather this time, بِعَشْرِ سُوَرٍ مِثْلِهِ مُفْتَرَيَاتٍ. They should produce 10 chapters, that is 10 surahs. So from 114, they should produce how many? Just 10. So they pardon them. How many? 111. Have you? Sorry, 101. 100 and what? 103. 4. Sorry. To bring 10, okay, sorry. 10 from 114, then that means they have to produce 100 and what? 4. They are for, pardon 104, they should produce just 10. They shouldn't bother. So Allah is ready with them. Just that challenge. So produce 10 chapters or 10 surahs, then Allah is okay, going to submit that yes, you can produce something similar to it. He said, فَأْتُوا بِعَشْرِ سُورٍ مِثْلِ مُفْتَرَيَاتٍ وَدَعُوا مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Then after that, then the last challenge is what? He said, وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا. If you are in doubt pertaining to what we revealed unto our servant, فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ. Just produce a simple surah. Simple surah. If you like, produce surah similar to Qul Huwallahu Ahad. As they say, single surah. So you select any surah that you want to pick and produce something what similar to it. فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ. Produce a surah similar to it. فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُمْ, and call upon what? Your witnesses. إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. If you are truthful pertaining to your claim that it is what? Innovated or invented or fabricated by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then Allah Ta'ala, being confident of himself, also said to them at the end that فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا, if you did not do this now, وَلَن تَفْعَلُوا, you will never be able to do that. وَاتَّقُوا النَّارَ الَّتِي, so be conscious of the hell, that is, protect yourselves from hell. وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ, that the fuel in making that hell or kindling that hell is النَّاسُ, mankind, وَالْحِجَارَةُ, and stones. وَعِدَّتْ لِلْكَافِرِينَ, it is what? Preserved to those, for those who are what? Unbelievers. So here Allah Ta'ala have finally told them that no matter what, they cannot be able to produce what? Something similar to it. So the best thing for them to do is to what? To be conscious of Allah Ta'ala and save themselves from the hell by submitting themselves to the commandment of Allah Ta'ala. And it is a challenge to, the creatures of Allah till the end of the world. It is not just for that time. So anyone who thinks he can, he's still welcome. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. I mean, Allah Ta'ala, and that is one amazing thing about the Quran, that it continues to remain one of what? The miracles of Allah Ta'ala to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So inshallah, with this we come to the end of our tafsir today. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk, wa ila liqa'in akhar inshallah.